Annabelle took a deep breath and carefully reached out to grasp the door handle. A sharp slam made her wince and snatch her hand away. A whimper came from inside the room. Willing away the tears that sprang to her eyes, Annabelle forced herself to grasp the handle with her small hands. Turning the knob, she pushed open the door a crack to see Mamma cowering in the far corner of the room. Father loomed over her, a long silver candlestick in one hand, a glass filled with brown liquid in the other. He always had that glass on nights like this. Beau, brave Beau, stood in front of Mamma, dodging Father's swings of the candlestick. "Please, George," Mamma cried again. "Don't hurt him. Beau, darling, go back to bed, please." The desperation and fear in her mother's voice made Annabelle shake. Her knees wobbled and her hand rattled the doorknob. She always felt as if she might retch on nights like these, but she couldn't drag her gaze away from the awful scene playing out in front of her. Tears dripped down her cheeks as she stared in horror. Instead of retreating, Beau held up his fists, aiming them at his father. Even from far away, Annabelle could see that he was shaking too. She was terrified for him. But Beau was brave. He would fight till he couldn't fight any longer. There was nothing Mamma could say to him to make him leave. Annabelle briefly closed her eyes and said a prayer. She asked the vicar once what she should do if she needed God's help. The vicar had told her to pray. Pray and ask for what she needed, and God would see to it. Annabelle prayed every time this happened, but her prayers were never answered. Father never stopped yelling. He never stopped hitting until he'd drawn blood or broken a bone.
"Get out of my way, boy! I won't tell you again,"
came Father's thunderous voice. Annabelle opened her eyes again in time to see Father swing the candlestick at Beau. But Beau was faster and more agile than Father when he was in his cups. Beau easily jumped aside, missing the heavy candlestick's blow, which only served to further enrage Father. Beau backed toward the door as the man advanced toward him and swung at him once more. He missed again, and Beau continued to retreat. He was trying to draw Father away from Mamma, trying to keep him from hurting her again, at his own peril. Wiping away the tears from the backs of her hands, Annabelle opened the door wider. Hopefully Beau would realize it was open and run through it if he needed to. But Beau wasn't one to run from a fight, even an unfair one with a man 3 times his age and size. Once he'd drawn Father away from Mamma, Beau squared his small shoulders and lifted his chin, raising his fists toward his father again and standing his ground.
"If you want to hit someone, hit me,"
came Beau's angry voice from between clenched teeth. Mamma reached out from the corner as if to try to save her boy. But the next swing of the candlestick caught Beau on the side of the jaw with a sharp crack and flung him. He fell on his bark, blood bursting from his mouth. "No!" Mamma cried. Annabelle gasped, running to her brother's side. "Beau!" she cried, falling to her knees beside him, cradling his head in her night rail. A bright crimson stain was already making its way down the centre of the garment. Mamma was there too, pushing Beau's blonde hair away from his sweaty, bloody face to assess the damage. Her eyes were frantic with worry as she tended to her son. Father stood over the 3 of them, eyeing Beau's limp body, as if he didn't care whether he'd killed him.
"Serves the blighter right,"
Father mumbled before tossing the bloody candlestick onto the carpet and stumbling from the room.
"He shouldn't have gotten in my way. Mind your own business, you brat,"
Father mumbled as he went. Annabelle expelled her pent-up breath. Father was done, at least for the night. They all knew it. Once he'd seriously injured Mamma or Beau, he always slunk away. It was a horrible way to guarantee his disappearance, but Beau had taken the hit on purpose for exactly that reason. Silent tears slipped down Annabelle's cheeks as she waited, praying even harder now that her brother would wake up. "Annabelle, darling," Mamma whispered, her own face wet from tears. "Go ask Murray for a hot cloth. Run